Hi everyone, I've got a lovely little three-dimensional card to show you today. It's in the shape of a little clutch bag, or if you're American you might call it a purse. It's got a polka dot flap, a tartan lower bit, some nice little tassels and flowers to decorate. On the back there's plenty of space to write and put your greeting, your sentiment there. There's a choice that comes in the kit, and it stands up really well because it's got this special little folding piece there to stop it from splaying out. So let me show you how easy this is to make. It's from a design by Carol Clark, and it's an instant download that you print from a link that I'll show you underneath the video, so you can just go straight to it. I suppose your first question is, how much is the download? Well, it's £1.50, and if you're outside the UK, if you go into the website and look on the top line, there's a little pound sign, and you can just click on that and change it into dollars or euros or whatever currency it is that you want to pay by. So it's really easy to get, and you can start crafting almost as soon as you've paid for it, which is great. If you've got no printer, you can order physical printed copies from the company. This takes 2 sheets and it costs 25p a sheet. So although you have to wait for the postman to bring it, it really is quite reasonable. The other thing I want to say is that once you've downloaded your the design, you must remember to save it to your computer before you print it. Once you've saved it, it's yours. You can print as many copies as you like for your personal use, or to make these little bags to sell. I think they'd sell really well at craft fairs, or perhaps on Etsy or something like that. So it really is very good value. So once you've downloaded them and printed them, I printed them actually onto heavyweight card. In the UK it would be 220 GSM, or in the USA somewhere between 80 and 110 pounds. So it's quite sturdy. There's a few other things you'll need once you've printed these out, but as with all my crafts, there's no expensive equipment to go out and buy. You'll need a ruler, a little pair of scissors for trimming up, cutting all these little bits. These are embroidery scissors, but I've been using them for ages. They say that they might blunt if you use them on card, but so far they're doing fine, so I'm not I think they're quite a good solution and a lot cheaper than specialist scissors. You need something to burnish the folds and to score with. Some gems, of course, to decorate. And then for adhesive, I'm going to be using this PVA glue, which dries clear. I'll also be using some double-sided tape. But if you've got a glue stick, that will be fine as well. I tend to mix between the double-sided tape and the liquid glue for different purposes. If I want something to stick immediately, like box corners, then I use the double-sided tape, stick it and it's done. But if I want to put some glue on something and then slide it a little bit to make sure it's perfectly in place, then I use a liquid glue. But as I say, a glue stick's fine as well. I'm also going to use some 3D foam pads here that are readily available, but if you don't have those, you can just cut up some little pieces of craft foam, or you can even cut some corrugated card. It's something that will just lift the little elements up and give them a different dimension. So nothing too out of the usual from there. Now when you do these downloadable cards, don't rush in and start cutting, because the first thing you always need to do is score. I learnt this the hard way the first time I did this kit. Now on some of the sheets like this one, you'll see that there are little lines here and here, and they indicate where you've got to score. So I'm going to start straight away, lining up the ruler left and right there, and then using the back of my scissors to just score a line. You can score with anything, even a butter knife, a proper scorer, whatever you've got. You need something that will just break the fibres of the card so that it folds nice and neatly, but it doesn't actually cut through and damage your card. So I've got 3 score lines to do there, and there we are, all done. So the next thing you can do is go ahead and cut out all those pieces, and then they'll look something like this. Got all the little embellishments there. You've got the back and the front, and you've got that white piece of card that we were scoring a moment ago. So I'm going to start with this just to get it ready. You need to do this as a mounting fold in the middle and 2 valley folds here and here. But if that sounds a bit technical, just watch, it's very simple. I'm going to fold the middle here and then burnish it with my little tool there. But you can actually use a credit card if you haven't got anything else. It zips along and makes a really nice fold. So that's my mounting fold. And then fold up the edge again in the opposite direction to make the valley, and one on the other side. Okay, so we've got one mounting fold in the middle and a valley and a valley. But to be honest, it just looks like a W, nice and easy. So now I'm going to start with the back of the card, and I'm going to put some tape just along the top here to put the front and the back together. So I'm just running that along. But as I say, you could just run along with some wet glue or with a glue stick, no problem. And I'm going to press it down really well, because the secret of getting the backing off easily is to make sure it's stuck down. There we go. And now I'm going to stick the front of the card to it, matching it as best I can, because I don't want any bits of white to show. That's looking good. Press it together. Okay, front and back. Now I'm going to work on the mechanism that goes between, and this is great because it stops the card splaying out when it's on display on your mantelpiece or your friend's mantelpiece. So I'm going to just glue one of the edges with wet glue. I'm using wet glue because I want to be able to adjust it into the right position. I'm opening up the card, putting it somewhere near the middle and close to the bottom. There's a bit of a slide I didn't want. Just press it down. Okay, and then you'll note that I've put the folds at the bottom, so I'm going to now glue the other tab of that joining piece and press the front of the card down over it. This glue sticks fairly quickly. So that's joined together, the front of the card, the back, and you've got this nice sturdy joining piece in the middle that will hold it nicely together. Now the next thing I'm going to do is something that is an extra to the kit. The first time I made the bag, I made it with like this. I made it and it was flat. Here's the bottom, here's the tab, all flat one piece. And then I thought, wouldn't it be really fun if I made it and put an extra flap on like that, so it sort of stood up. But I didn't want all of it to stick up. I wanted the top to be level and then it to be sort of lifted at the bottom. So the way I've done this is I printed another sheet like this and I cut out just the flap. Here we are. I've put double-sided tape along the top here, and I'm going to stick it exactly over the top of the flap I've already got. Okay, but then I've put 3D foam pads along the bottom, 4 little pieces of them. And I've taken off the protective paper and I stick those down. Now you can see it's flat at the top, but it's got this little uplift on the front, which I think just adds a little bit to it. So now for the fun bit, we're going to do some decorating. So I've cut out the flowers and these tassels that were part of the kit. And after I'd cut them out, I decided I'm a bit of a fan for 3-dimensional stuff. So I cut part way up the tassels and flick them a bit to give it a bit of movement. And you see, I've cut them to about here. So I'm going to stick these on. And I'm just going to glue maybe 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre down from the top. Maybe tuck them under there. That's looking good. And I'm going to put the second one swinging alongside it. Again, just put some wet glue at the top and slip it in there so it looks like they're hung together. Lovely. Great. Now for the flowers. I'm going to put one on the front so that it looks like it's got a faux fastener. So a bit of glue on that one. Looking good. And I'm going to decorate down this side. You can't have too many flowers, can you? So I'm going to put wet glue on these again. one next to it. But for the third one, I want it to be standing up off the card a bit. So I've got my two glued down flat. So this third one, I'm going to put into the palm of my hand and just press it and cup my hand to turn it into one that's got a bit more dimension. I'm then going to put one of these teeny tiny three-dimensional foam dots on the back. Move the paper off. And I'm just going to press it on top like that. It really does look nice. I don't know whether you can tell from the camera, but it's got real dimension there. Right, turning it over, we've got a lovely space for writing and we've got a greeting there already. If you want to, you can add another greeting from the kit because you've got loads to choose from. Happy birthday, happy Mother's Day, get well soon, congratulations. And there's a blank one, so you can even write somebody's name in if you want to. So you can really personalise that bit. But I'm just going to add 2 more flowers to the back. Wet glue again works very well for this. One thing lacking, it needs a little bit of bling. So I'm going to use some pink gems here that I've got to pop into the centres of the card, centres of the flower I should say. There. There. On that front piece, the clasp. These flat ones. The raised one. And tuck that one underneath there like that. And there you have it. A really nice three-dimensional card that I think anybody who received it would be totally wowed by. So please have a look down below now. Have a look for that code that I've put there. Click on it, download and order it now, £1.50, and don't forget to save it and print it then as many times as you like. You're going to have loads of fun with this. So I hope you enjoy this as much as I did. Bye for now.